Hi, Meghna. I'm just checking out. I'm audible properly?
Yes, Jatin, you're audible.
Okay, cool.
Uh, I guess our Gmeet is filled now. So guys, please inform all your friends to join us on YouTube now. We are even streaming on YouTube live, and we'll be starting in exactly at 6. We are sorry as we're not able to accommodate everyone on the Gmeet, and hope you all could drop your queries on the chat box on YouTube, and we will make sure to pick all the relevant queries at the end of the session in the Q&A round. So let's start with today's session. Very good evening to all, and welcome you all to the second bootcamp of Cloud Tech Camp CDL Bootcamp 2. And I am Meghna from Team Community. Welcome you all, and we are glad you all are here. So before moving ahead, please take a screenshot of the session and share your feedbacks and experiences, your learnings on LinkedIn and Twitter, tagging Hack2skill and Google Developers India, and it will be a lot to us. We can see how energetic and how we're feeling about these sessions. So, in the last session, we had Ryan Chowdhury who introduced us to Google Cloud. And in today's learnings, we will be moving ahead with innovation with data and Google Cloud. And introducing to our today's speaker, we have Jatin Sharma, Associate Cloud Engineer at Google Cloud and a Cloud Engineer at IIT Jammu. So he will be taking us ahead with innovation with data and Google Cloud. Before jumping into today's session, a few things to keep note of. And sorry if we're not able to accommodate everyone in the Meet. Hope you could understand. We will definitely take in all your queries from the YouTube if you drop your queries in the chat box. Also, guys, please make sure to make your skill boost profile public as we will be judging you basis of your badges to be eligible for the vouchers. And everything has been updated in the dashboards of your CTL website and also on emails. So do follow everything that is told by Hack2skill only. We'll keep updating everything over the dashboards and also on Gmail and on Discord as well. Do join Discord. And third thing, take a screenshot of the session and do share your learnings from today's sessions as well. So not taking too long, handing over the mic to Jatin. He will be taking us to today's session.
So thanks, Meghna, for this session. So hi everyone, my name is Jatin. Hope I am properly audible and visible to all of you. So let me just quickly share my screen over there. Just a moment. It wouldn't take a much long. I think the admits are popping up, so it's taking some time. Mhm. Okay, I think my screen is now visible. Get into the slideshow mode. Let me just. Uh, so yes, we will be starting. And so hi everyone, welcome to today's session. So let's get started with about my introduction. So my name is Jatin Sharma. I'm a cloud engineer at IIT Jammu, ex-cloud engineer at Hampley Analytics, and I'm also a partner employee of the Google. I'm Google Cloud Career in a Student Mentor and also Google Certified Associate Cloud Engineer. I'm basically come from the state of Jammu and Kashmir, city of temples, Jammu, especially. So that's a short introduction about me. So let's get started with our PPT. Okay, you are all here for our for the certification cloud digital leader. But who's these people? Who are the cloud digital leaders? So if anyone kindly put your small about who are the cloud digital leaders in the comment section, or if you're on the YouTube, you can put in the chat or something. Really great. So okay, so let's get started. So cloud digital leaders can basically accumulate a lot the capabilities of Google's core products and the services and how they are benefiting the organization. A cloud digital leader basically describes the common use cases and how we can implement them using the cloud solutions and how to support an enterprise. And this certification is basically for anyone who wishes to demonstrate their knowledge of the cloud computing and how the Google Cloud products fits best into the use cases and achieve the desired goals. So, okay, we are learning about Google Cloud certification and what are the benefits. So, this session benefits over there. First, you will be added to the credential holder directory, where you will be listed along another highly qualified professionals in the Google domain of Google Cloud, especially whether they're professional or associate. And a digital badge will be issued and a certification, which we can show along on your social media profiles, LinkedIn, Twitter, and also add to your resume also. Second, it's a great platform and great opportunity to mentor, network with the basically like-minded peoples. And along with that, you're also hands-on experience on the Google Cloud GCP technologies, and obviously it's come with the increase in your salaries and better employment opportunity as the cloud is basically booming. And Google Cloud, especially, I think the year-on-year growth is more than 40%. So you can measure it out. What are the impacts this certification is going to add in your resume, in your salaries, and so on. We are learning about cloud computing. So, what are the basic fundamentals of the cloud computing? And just over there. So, what are the basically characteristics of these? Basically, cloud computing come with the five characteristics, whether it's a so the first compute resources and in order to get the Google realized that its business couldn't move fast enough with confines of the virtual models. So Google switched to the container-based architecture, a fully automated elastic third wave cloud that consists of combination of automated service and the scale data. Services automatically provisions and configure the infrastructures used to run the applications. Today, some of the services are being delivered in a fully automated serverless way. This trend will continue as the cloud services expand. Next, cloud computing basically is an enterprise thing. So every company is basically a data company, and in future, every company, regardless of size, industry, will determine itself through its competitor through the technology. Lastly, this technology will be in the form of software. Great software is centered on data. Therefore, every company is, will, and become a data company. Google provides a variety of services for managing and getting values from the data at scale. Okay, next. So cloud computing, we get the basically overall idea what basically cloud computing is. So who are the organizations that are using?
Hey Jatin, sorry to interrupt. If you could go a bit slow because audiences in the YouTube are facing a little bit of lag.
Okay, okay, cool, cool, cool. No issues, no issues. Got it. Okay. So we are done with this. Every company is a data company. So next, who are the customers? So these are the prominent customer of the Google Cloud. That if you learn about Google Cloud and you got the skill, you will be working along. These are the partners depending on your skills, probably especially. So PayPal, Twitter, Airbus, UPS. Another. So in Indian scenario, I'm talking about. I think majority of us will be having a bank account, and as you know, SDF is a major banking giant.
Jatin, sorry to interrupt again. The audiences on YouTube are asking if you could repeat again the few topics that you
Okay,
Not a while ago.
okay. We can start with this one, cloud computing basics.
Yes, it works.
Okay, cool. So we will talking about the cloud computing. So cloud computing basically having a five fundamental characteristics. Okay, first of all, the cloud computing resources are on demand and self-service. Cloud computing customers use an automated interface and get the desired storage, computing power, and the networking they needed without the typically complex procedures of configuring a data centers and building them. And second, resources are available over the network from any location. Basically, you just need a web browser with the internet connection, and you can use the cloud computing resources over there. Third one is the providers allocate the resources to the customer from a large cloud provider. You have heard the word economy of scale. And the resources is on location. They will be anywhere in the world, like in the US, UK, Africa, Australia, APAC, Japan region, Delhi, Mumbai, anywhere. And you just have to decide which location gives you the best results and latency depending on that. You will go with that location. Third, the resources are elastic. If you need more resources, you can get them rapidly. And when you need more, you just scale back to the original configuration you needed. Desired. And finally, you pay only for the resources you reserve or you use. This is a model on a pay as you go model. And if you don't need the services anymore, you just stop using the stopping for them. Third one is the cloud has seen a progression over the last decades. First, we have a physical co-location facilities where you can have the storage, processing, memory, and the networking over there. Then you have then there comes the concept of the virtualization. It's the user configure, provider manage, and maintain. And third is the serverless, fully automated program. And in around 2009, Google realized that its business can't scale enough, which confines the capabilities of the virtualization model. So Google switched its approach to the container-based architecture, a fully automated uh, third wave elastic. So automation of the services and scalable data. Services automatically provision and configure the infrastructure fully automated available services continue as the tech expands. Okay, just a moment. Okay. So we produce. There is a much amount of data that are produced in in every day. Whether we are checking reports, we are browsing over the internet. The data is generating, and companies are storing them. And basically, regardless of the company in future, every company will be determine itself from its competitor through technology. And largely, they are technology data driven. And therefore, every company will in the future will be the data company. And Google basically provides the cloud services for managing and getting value from the data at scale. So we are done with some theoretical overview of the cloud. And what are the customers? Because cloud is not for the general people. Like we don't need I think we are using Gmail accounts to store our data. Our data will be less than the 10 GB or something. But when it comes to the enterprise scale, everyone needs to manage the data at scale and rapidly scaling. So these are the customers. There are some of the customers of the Google Cloud. PayPal, if you're using international transaction, Twitter we use in our daily life, recently acquired by Elon Musk. So PNG, another Sky Airbus. So in India perspective, we do need the banking services, UPI services, and HDFC Bank. I think majority of us are not aware of the HDFC Bank, and HDFC Bank itself is a Google Cloud customer. It's one of the biggest customer of the Google Cloud in itself in India. Okay, so next, the cloud is basically delivering the three services: infrastructure services, platform, and software services. So we will getting started with the infrastructure service. So with infrastructure services, the services are provides the underlying architecture to you to run the services. The uh, the resources can be provided, but it's up to you user. You have to manage the operating systems and the application. That's all. You will even a VM, and you have to just manage them. And with the platform as a services, it take one step upper. Now the environment is managed for the user by the provider. You just have to manage your application, what your application is doing. You have to maintain the source code. You don't have to worry about what are the security patches, what is the OS version that working on, and so on and so forth. Now there comes software services. In this platform, the infrastructure, the platform and software is all managed for you. All you have to require is to bring up your data and use the system. And commercially, these application is Salesforce app and Google Docs. If you know the software as a services, Google Sheets, all these software services, you have to put your data and use the services, right? You don't have to be managing all the infrastructure backend of the Google Sheet. You don't have to, right? So we are done with this, and I'm trying to do this little bit interactive session. So there is some small question for you. You just have to be summarize what we have done. So okay, I'm just popping up the question next. So your exam will be scenario based questions. Like you just have to be in the serial examination. Always a MCQ based question. So just take a minute or so. Like just it's not a fundamental attribute of cloud computing. We just read it about in the previous slides. You can have your answers in the chat itself. Okay, we have a lot of interactive audience over there. Nice. Okay, cool. The shooting up the CCCCC. Nice. I think you guys have pretty well overview of the cloud computing itself. Okay, ready for the answers? So yes, the C is the correct option, security as a services. And basically this service doesn't exist on the Google Cloud itself as well. So okay, shall we get started with our next? Yes, correct. Very important question, how to make public of it. Okay. So Google Cloud base provides a lot of choices for you. For infrastructure service, you can use the compute engine. For hybrid, you can use Google Kubernetes. For platform as a service, you can use App Engine, cloud functions, and the automated Elastic services over there. So this is offering. Infrastructure service often provides you with a network organized in a way familiar to you in the form of physical and virtualized data center. Platform as a service, on the other hand, binds the your code to the libraries and provides access to the infrastructure to ensure application needs and allow you to focus on the more application logic to infrastructure as a model. You pay for resources that are allocated to you in as the is evolving, the momentum has to the infrastructure and the managed services. With the managed services, rather on building your complex components to work, you can so Google Cloud products and services can be classified into these categories. And leveraging the compute can include the virtual machines like compute engine. If you need to run a Docker, you can use the Google Kubernetes engine. And if you use a managed platform, you just have to put your code and you can use app engine. And in the event driven scenario, you can use the cloud function if you just hit a trigger a proper event or something, or if you need stateless containers, you just don't have to manage in case of GKE, and you can go with the cloud run. And okay, now we are done with this compute services. But what about the data? Where do we have to store all the data that's coming in the organization? We are talking about the petabytes of the data. Just imagine the scale of these. Our normal systems are only having 1 TB, and I'm talking not TB. We are talking about the petabytes of the data. So these are the offering from the Google Cloud itself. Cloud Cloud Storage, Cloud Spanner, and the Cloud Data Store. A variety of many services are available. For available data, you can go with the cloud storage. For managed database, you can go with the Cloud SQL or Cloud Spanner. For no SQL, there is option like Data Store or Bootcamp. And I will just next we have a Google Cloud offering services that you can get your insights from the data. There is a BigQuery, PubSub, Dataflow, Dataproc, and AI notebooks for the machine learning, because you have to make decisions on the basis of the data. So you get the data and you have to train your models. So there are a variety of options available over there. AI platform, Vision API, Vertex AI. Vertex is a new term right now. It's launched in the last year in the month of March by the Google itself. So it's a whole managed infrastructure by the data. So these are all the managed services that are dealing with the big data, machine learning as well. We got the compute services, we got the storage. What about the network? Where are we accessing the resources that are, if you are pulling up a YouTube video, it's stored in the US location, where it's coming from. So the Google Cloud, if you are seeing through the map, these are this is the map of the Google's fiber optical connections. You can see how big it is, and around 40% of the world's internet flow through this. This is the largest network of its kind in the earth, and it's continues to grow. And it is designed to provide the highest possible throughput and the lowest possible latencies for the application. And internet connections are available in the more of the 90 exchanges, and there are 110 points of presence by the Google. So when you ever hit a Google search or something, request a YouTube video, send a file, possibly this will be the route for your data packets. Next, we will be talking about what are the regions. They are just a basic example, and Google basically divides the world into the three regional areas: the Americas, European, and the Asia Pacific. And the multi-regions area divided into the regions, and which are independent geographic locations on the same continent. With a region, there is a fastest network connectivity generally, and the latency is less than the 1 milliseconds. And finally, the regions are divided into the zones, which are the development area of the Google Cloud resources, which is focused in a particular geographic location. You can think a zone as a data center within a region. Although strictly speaking, zone isn't necessarily a single data center. It can be a collection of data centers over that region. And compute engine, virtual machines, instance reside in a specific zone. If the zone become unavailable, you would use your virtual machine in another workload and continue running on this one. Next, we got to know about the Google Cloud platform, and generally, I think most of us will be having Android mobile. And Google also uses the its core product because it's developed internally. Then they thought to commercialize it, and so it's going on. So Google is also using its cloud storage used for unstructured data, your Google Photos, Gmail, Google Docs. So it's all stored into the Google's cloud storage bucket, and I think it's having capacity of 100 petabytes as well. So ready for the next question? So our audience aware what's happening? Can we have a yes in the chat? Are we ready for the next question? Okay. So this is our next question. Select the platform as a service sources from the available option. We just talk about the infrastructure platform, software as a service, and so on. B, B, getting a lot of options over there. So let's reveal the answer. So this is the answer. So App Engine is the correct answer. Congratulations. And it's a Google's platform as a service option. Infrastructure says underlying RAM, GPU, CPUs. So we got to know about the Google Cloud. Okay. So what are the ways to interact with the Google Cloud basically? So there are basically comes with the four ways. You can either use a Google Cloud Console, which is a basically web interface, Google Cloud SDK, Shell, REST APIs for the customer applications, and console app for the monitoring and other purposes. So these are the resources over there. Okay, next I think we have a topic of the Google Cloud storage. Okay, we can just okay. So simplest, these are some high availability and simple to use object storage data bucket you can use. It says, and it's the most cost efficient, secure, reliable, and simple to use bucket. Next, we will be talking about the APIs because the your application will be accessing the Google Cloud services, whether it's a database or something. It will be accessing all its services via API. If you are running in a application, your application will not be popping up a UI. You have to click on drag and drop, tick tick tick, and it will be having the. So it's all API based in the production scenario. So this is the complexity. Users just have to be and for contact with the APIs and don't just have to care about the complex architecture over there. So in API is a software written structure and it presents a clean, well-defined interface that abstracts anyway needless details. And APIs are used to simplify the way different disparate and software resources communicate. And by using as a universal structure of communication, we open a wide range of opportunities over there. So you can interact with the Google Cloud. These are the libraries. You can either interact with the SDK. These are the client libraries, whether you're developing in Java, Python. Google Cloud got all this API in the cloud, client libraries, and it is using basically a RESTful API. And in addition to the Cloud SDK, to the service, and they are optimized to and API functionality for placement. For example, you can use the API admin if you want to build your own automated resources. So we will be talking next about APIs, and we got to know about the term RESTful APIs. How many of you are aware of the RESTful APIs? Can we have a yes in the chat? How many of you are aware about the RESTful APIs? Okay, tick, tick, tick. So, okay, the RESTful state presentation, state transfer or REST is currently the most popular architecture style for services. It outlines a key set of constraints and arrangements that the services must comply with. If a service comply with these constraints, it's says to be RESTful. And the web is HTTP based and provides architectural structure that scale well and stands the test of time. REST transfers the idea that work well for the web and applies to the services. API intended to spread widely to the customers and deploy to the devices and limited to like mobile, your laptops, or service. One of the main reasons API are well in the cloud is due to the stateless nature. The information doesn't need to be stored or referred for APIs to run. Authentication can be done through auth and security can be used by the leveraging the tokens. So I'm just summarizing that deploying and managing APIs can be difficult and you just have to be interface definition, authentication, authorization over there. You have to do the logging and management and scalability. And when deploying and managing APIs, language or format you use to describe the API, how will you authenticate the services, user who invoke the API, ensure the API scales to meet the demand, whether infrastructure log detail invocations and provide monitoring matrices. And in the Google Cloud, there are CloudFront, and something if you aware of is the Apache Edge. So Apache Edge allows you to front your services with a proxy layer. And proxy layer is your interface to the developers that want to use your backend services, rather than having consumed them directly from the services. There's just the Edge API proxy that you create, and with the proxy you can provide value-added features such as security, rate limiting, quotas, caching persistence, analytics, fault handling, and much more. Many users of the Apache Edge are providing as it's as a software services to the another company, and those features come handy because the backend services for the Apache and not only in the Google Cloud. Engineers also often use it when they're working to take the legacy application apart instead of replacing their monolithic application, which is a lot riskier. And they can intend use the Apache Edge to peel off its services one by one, standing up to the microservices architecture to implement each in turn, which limit the legacy application and finally can be retired. So if you are moving for the Docker base or Kubernetes internal, so it's a API based services. So what to do with monolithic and instead go with the containerized approach. So yes, okay. Then there is a come like where the cloud endpoints fits. So you can see the architecture like there are different of application whether you're accessing it from the iOS, Android, Java, these are the runtime that your service is working on. Whether it can be App Engine, GK, Compute Engine, and then they come the backend services, data store, Cloud SQL, and cloud storage. Cloud endpoints support. Mhm. Okay, okay. Just a moment, I'm checking out. I think my connection is good. Yeah, just a moment. I think there is some network issues at my end. So I will try to be go a little bit slow. Okay. So the cloud endpoint. Yeah, yes. So we are continuing the cloud endpoints. So the cloud endpoint supports application running the Google Cloud compute platforms in your choice of language and the choice of your client technology. It allows you to establish standardized APIs for the web, mobile application to enable them to connect to use and use the backend application on App Engine. And it's also provide the mobile or application access to the full resources of the App Engine and so on. And next, moving on, organizations have to rapidly ingest, transform, and analyze a massive amount of data. If the data can be from the mobile, web, IoT, you first have to ingest, transform, analyze, and then you have to improve the user experience, like the ad systems that are working on. They are rapidly ingesting your data, getting the business insights. This is a common scenario in the organized come have to be that they have to rapidly ingest, transform, and analyze a massive amount of data. Okay, let's take a scenario. We all play games, and a gaming application must receive and process user engagement, click, click stream data. So it has to be processed rapidly. In the shipping industry, IoT application must receive a lot of sensor data from a hundreds of sensor. Data processing application basically transforms the ingested data and saves it in an analytical database. You can then analyze the data to provide the business insights and create a creative user experience for you, whether it's a gaming industry or a shipping industry. It's a simply we are taking a scenario. And business have to be orchestrate complex business processes like consider a example of the search. We are searching from India, then there's another person searching from the Japan, US, and there are multiple resources that coming on requests coming from Europe. And just imagine how the Google is just handling all this. And organizations often have a complex business process that require many applications to interact with each other. For examples, consider a Spotify scenario, and user plays a song, a music servicing must perform the operations in the background, and there might be operation to pay the record company, perform the live updates to the catalog, update the song recommendation on the platform, handle the ad interactives like you are listening and suddenly there's a ads come and you can't skip that, and perform the analytics on the user action. Such complex application and interactions are difficult to manage with a bit brittle point-to-point application connections. So these are much about the APIs. So are we ready for the next question, audience?
Jatin, if we can skip the question and get back to the session, since it would not be possible
Okay,
to
we are on the ending slides.
have it
Just
right.
there are five or more slides to go. So what protocol is used in the REST APIs? This is a simple question, guys. You can answer it. Okay, are you ready for this? So the STTP is the protocol used with the RESTful APIs. That all is good. So we understand all about the compute, data storage, APIs, and just consider the scenario of this. Like if the unauthorized person is accessing your resources, it's a security concern, right? So Google there is come the concept of identity management and the cloud identity and access management as admin authorized. Like who is the intended person, what can it do, and on which resources you can perform the actions on Google Cloud. So the identity and access management, there are three types of roles. There are first is the basic, predefined, and the custom. So these are the three basics. And the when the cloud is evolving, it's come basically with the basic roles. And the basic role are apply all of the cloud resources in a project that includes the owner, editor, viewer, and the billing administrator process. So what can these if you are viewer, editor, or what are the capabilities that you have? If you're viewer, you can examine the resources, but you can't able to be change the state of the resources. If you're editor, you can do everything plus modified state. And if you're owner, you can do everything can editor can do, plus you can manage roles and permissions. The owner role on a project also give you control over the billing and the cost of the management. Often organization want someone to able to control the billing. Let's consider you are organization and there is a finance department out there. So there is a person from the finance department that in the billing administration who can grant access to the billing information and what kind of resource we have to use and define the billing quota, that this is the scope of our project and we have to be in the constrained budget. So billing administration can provide all those. So what is the scope of, basically we all know this certification. So this is the scope of the cloud computing. So majority of the public services cloud service is growth over there, going over. And considering the personal cloud is booming and it's gonna to be more just as the recent times and something like that, the cloud in the cloud computing market, you get better salaries and better opportunities if you are highly skilled and aware of what's going in the market and what the scenarios in the cloud computing. So this is our session for the today. And if you need any help, just contact me. This is, you can simply scan this QR code and connect me over the LinkedIn. I will be happy to answer your queries. And if you need any assistance with your associate cloud internship, just plug in and certification. Don't just do the certification for the sake of certification. Like understand what Google Cloud is doing, what are the services, what you can, if you have a scenario like this processing in our data file going on, how you can fit the Google Cloud up there, and how can you make a product in that case. So it will be highly beneficial. And as a cloud architect, you should be known aware of the what are the procedures that we have to go through, identifying the organization, what are the loops in there, how can automate the processes, so on and so forth. So thank you guys for joining with us, and I hope to see you in all in the cloud. So yes, thanks, Magna, for the today's session.
Yes, Jatin. So now we can go with the questions. So, guys, you can drop in your questions in the chat box, and also for the YouTube audience, we'll be addressing all your questions if you drop it on the chat box.
Thank you everyone for listening to me for so long. Okay, we are getting some questions over there.
Yes, the PPT of the session and the recording will be available to everyone. So, for the YouTube audience, we'll be providing you with everything. Do not worry. The vouchers will be provided to those who are eligible. You have to complete all the 4 modules plus attend your quiz. Guys, we are picking out only relevant questions. So if you have any questions that you want to ask us in this session or any queries related, you can drop them.
How to we can get the goodies. Goodies is the most interesting topic. Guys, just focus on your learning experience and just make sure you're capable enough. Otherwise, companies just follow you for the goodies.
Yes, we are dropping in our Discord link as well in the chat box. So you will find the learning path, the 4 modules in your learning path, and your dashboard. You can find the link for serial learning path. So you can get it there. So the quiz is going live on 9th November. So you have time until 9 to complete all the modules. So the questions in the quiz will be related to the modules itself. So what you learn in the modules is what will be asked in the quiz. So goodies and certificate is only available for those who have passed the CDL certification exam. There is no last date to complete all the modules, but we will make the quiz live after 9th of November. So until then, you have time to complete the modules and you can attend the quiz at any time after 9th November. All right then, guys. If any questions, you can drop it over Discord, and we will try to automate you and answer all the queries that you have been asking. And I guess we can wrap up the question.
Yes, Pigma.
So thank you so much to all the YouTube audience. We will make sure to drop in the session's recordings. And thank you all for joining in this meet.
Yeah, thank you all for this
Yes.
session.
Thank you all for joining the session. Thank you.
Great audience, guys. Interactive session.
And before ending the session, hope you all could share your learnings and why the CDL certification is important for your career, tagging Hack2skill and Google Developers India on LinkedIn and Twitter. It will be great. And we would also know how enthusiastic you are to complete the CDL certification. So don't forget to tag us on Tag us on LinkedIn and Twitter, and please take a screenshot of this session. So see you all in the next session on 8th of November. Until then, bye bye everyone.